What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 226 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Samurai vs. Science. Now, before I get into the review for this episode, I want to go over a little bit of stuff that I forgot to mention in my last review, and that was during the Sarda and Chocho fight. I forgot to mention the fact that Sarda actually never said that she was going all out. She never claimed that she was going all out against Chocho. And yeah, Chocho said that we should give it everything we got. Sarda agreed that she should. Chocho said she was going to give her everything she got. Sarda agreed that she should too. But she didn't say she was. She never said she was going all out against Chocho. And even when she did her lightning ball jutsu, when she completely destroyed Chocho, when Chocho was serious, and Sarda obviously wasn't serious. That's why she apologized later on for the way she was behaving, because Chocho was saying, like, you're not taking it seriously. But even when she was beating Chocho then, like with the lightning balls and stuff, Awabe and Metal Lee, they were talking about how Sarda clearly has the advantage. And that's while Sarda wasn't going all out. So anyways, my whole point is Sarda wasn't going all out at all in the entire fight against Chocho, just in general. So yeah, I just want to make that clear. Sarda actually beat Chocho without going all out at all. So without really fully trying, she actually beat Chocho. Now, getting into this fight, or this episode, which was the main part of this episode, was the Denki versus Tsubaki fight. And yeah, Samurai versus Science. And so yeah, of course we had some of the interactions between the teams. Like we had Denki interacting with Team 5, and you had Tsubaki interacting with Team 15, talking about their match. Basically, each team was encouraging their, teammate to win the match. So we had that stuff. We had Boruto and Mitsuki that got back to the Chunin exams arena too late, and they ended up missing their match. They were supposed to fight. They were supposed to fight before Tsubaki and Denki, but they got there too late, so they missed the match and they got disqualified. And yeah, so then they just started to talk to Sarda, and yeah, so then we got the fight. So it was Tsubaki versus Denki, Samurai versus Science, and honestly, I think Tsubaki was heavily nerfed in this fight. Like at one point, she actually hit Denki. She actually hit Denki's armor with her sword. Now, for those people who probably skipped those episodes that we got with Tsubaki early on in the anime, I mean, basically, I think she was introduced like right after the time travel arc. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was introduced right after the time travel arc. For people who may have skipped some of those episodes we got with Tsubaki, you should know how. I mean, it's very, very obvious how much weaker the anime made her in this episode. They completely nerfed her in this episode in order to give Denki the win. And that's not cool at all. I'm not mad at Denki winning. I'm just mad at the way it was done, the way it was executed, because they clearly nerfed Tsubaki. Like, literally in the first episode she was introduced, she created a huge tornado of chakra with just one swing of her sword. And her sword was completely cloaked in chakra. Just like how Sasuke uses Chidori, and he basically, he cloaks his sword with a lightning style with the Chidori, and Killer Bee does the same thing. That's what Tsubaki did. I mean, she didn't use lightning style, but she cloaked her sword in chakra, and she created a huge tornado of chakra in the first episode that she was introduced in her debut episode. And she didn't do anything like that against Denki. Now, I'm like, it's just really ridiculous. First of all, even if you were to argue that, oh well, it's probably just because Denki's armor was strong enough to withstand the force of that. My question is, why didn't we actually see her? Because we did see her do like some sword slashes, like how the samurai would usually do, like how Mufune would do. She actually named the technique after Mufune. I think she called it Mufune style. And we seen her do some slashes. But we didn't see her do that same technique she did in the first episode that she was introduced, where she fully cloaked her sword in chakra. And I'm not buying Denki's armor being able to withstand an attack that was capable of literally wiping out a whole group of people. Plus, it created a huge chakra tornado. I mean, like, what kind of metal can withstand that? Like I mean, even just putting that aside, I just think Tsubaki was extremely nerfed in this fight, and also at the end of the fight, when Denki charged at her with his lightning style, she was unable to dodge it, even though she was clearly shown to be extremely fast. I mean, you could try to justify these things, but I mean, you would be. I mean, I guess you can come up with some justifications, but they're not really that valid to me. Honestly, I just think it was Tsubaki just got extremely nerfed. Um, so basically, what happened was I'm gonna briefly recap the fight. So it started off with Tsubaki being cocky. She thought she was just gonna be able to easily beat Denki. Denki, he had this scientific ninja tool armor that allowed him to basically, he had these glasses, these scientific ninja tool glasses that allowed him to predict Tsubaki's movements. And I think it was a motion sensor, allow him to easily predict Tsubaki's movements. Sardi even said, wow, that's just like the Sharingan. I'm gonna get to that later because I actually do got a problem with that. But so he had that, and then he also had this like armor around his arms and legs, which allowed him to just dodge Tsubaki's attacks. Because it was using like it was sending lightning style throughout his nervous system or something like that. They actually compared it to the guy Todori from the last tuning exams from the Hidden Cloud Village, the guy who fought Miski with that lightning style. He did that lightning style overdrive. They said basically Denki was doing the same thing, but he was using his scientific ninja tools to do it, and that allowed his body to basically move extremely fast or whatever. So yeah, he made that scientific ninja tool by himself. It was revealed that that was actually a prototype, which is why it actually overheated during the battle because it was a prototype. And basically, Katasuke, who was also watching the fight along with Sword and others, he basically said that since it's a prototype, it's not built to withstand long periods. Like it's not built to last that long, basically. So it's basically implied that if it wasn't a prototype, if it was a fully, if it was completed, and if it wasn't a prototype, he's basically implying that it would have been able to last longer. I don't know exactly how long it would have been able to last if it wasn't a prototype, but scientific ninja tools need to have limits in general because they're already way too OP and they're problematic as a whole. I'm gonna get to the problems I have with it later, but there needs to be limits. So the fact that they called it a prototype and that was the reason why it overheated, I don't like that. I think it should have. I don't care if it's a prototype or not. Scientific ninja tools need to have weaknesses because I don't like the idea of them just being these just ridiculously overpowered things that people don't actually have to work for. Now, granted, Denki actually did spend time making it, so there's that. But I mean, he's not actually. Well, I digress on that. Let's say he did work for it, whatever. He spent time working on it. But anyway, so yeah, so that was basically how the fight started off. Denki was dodging Tsubaki's sword swings, and he was just dodging her hits. And then Tsubaki, he actually like it was like this claw that came out of his scientific ninja tool, and it was able to drag Tsubaki across the arena pretty much and send her flying into the air. Then Denki shot a fireball at her. She cut right through the fireball with her sword, and then she started using her sword slashes to use that the samurai, sword chakra sword slashes. Even though we never seen her actually cloak her sword in chakra fully, because if she did, it was barely noticeable. But she did do some sword slashes that sent some chakra or some slashes at Denki, but it wasn't at the same power level. In fact, it just didn't look like she cloaked her sword in chakra in general. But it definitely didn't look like she was using her full power based on, that first episode she was introduced. Like I said, she literally created a huge tornado. Now that I think of it, towards the end of the fight, she actually did break Denki's armor. Like she cut it. She actually destroyed some of Denki's armor. So with just a regular sword slash. So technically, that does prove that her regular sword slashes should have been able to break it. Especially, that sword slash that she used in the first episode she was introduced, that should have been able to easily break Denki's armor the first time she hit it. Point being, she was nerfed. She didn't use that same technique that she used when she was first introduced in the anime. And the fact that she broke Denki's armor later on, that kind of shows that she was nerfed. It kind of proves that she was nerfed. Now, so yeah, so after she cut the fireball and she used a couple of sword slashes to attack Denki, she figured out that Denki's glasses was actually predicting her movements. So she used the hilt of her sword, or the sheath, or whatever it's called. She used the part of her sword that holds her sword, and she used that to basically attack Denki and knock his glasses off. She had to, use some unpredictable movements. At one point, she came at Denki and then she hesitated and stopped her move and then did a different move, which actually worked on him when she was extremely desperate or whatever. So, yeah, so she figured out what was going on. She knocked his glasses off and stopped him from being able to predict her movements. And then, she started beating up Denki, and she got cocky. And then the Denki, he used his armor because she was coming at him and then he basically took off his armor, and then she destroyed a little bit of his armor with her sword. And then Denki, that's when he actually used scientific ninja tool. That's when he used his own power, his own chakra, and he used the lightning style overdrive in his actual, without the scientific ninja tools, in his actual, base form. He used it without the scientific ninja tools. He used the lightning style overdrive. Now, that's good. Well, see, I'm happy that Denki actually finally started to use started to use regular ninjutsu, because, I don't think he's probably used the point is I don't know, probably used some of the weaker jutsu, like a transformation jutsu in the past or something like that. But we've never seen him use ninjutsu before, really. So it's cool to actually see that he's been training and he's actually been, honing his skills, and he's actually been, getting better and improving. That's good. That's cool. We didn't actually see his training off screen. His training was basically off screen. We didn't actually see him training or whatever. But it's cool to know that he was actually training and learning how to use ninjutsu, because it's about time. This guy's been in the he's been in anime since episode 1, and it's taken him over 200 episodes to actually show some progress when it comes to ninjutsu. But, it's cool that we actually see some progress with him in terms of ninjutsu. And he actually said that that jutsu uses up all of his chakra. So he only used his own chakra once, because basically this entire fight he was using scientific ninja tools, which doesn't require him to use his chakra. So he was only using he only used his own chakra one time. And that one jutsu that he did, the lightning style overdrive, when he dashed at Tsubaki and electrocuted her, that one jutsu used up all of his chakra. So I'm also kind of happy with that, because it is consistent. It is consistent that he would, one ninjutsu would take up all of his chakra, given how weak he is and how weak he's been throughout the series. It does make sense that, since he's just now starting to get, used to using regular ninjutsu, or since he's just now using ninjutsu, him using big attacks is probably going to take up a lot of his chakra. He's probably not that good when it comes to chakra control, aside from the basics. This was his first time using ninjutsu. So, anyways, that stuff was fine. Also, but at the end, when he hit Tsubaki with that last attack, Tsubaki should have been able to dodge that. Now, I don't get why she was just unable to dodge it, and she literally tried to block it with her sword. It was just pretty dumb. Point being, the whole fight, I mainly have a problem with the fact that Tsubaki was definitely nerfed, and also I don't like the scientific ninja tool that Denki was using. The one I don't like is the glasses one. The one that will allow him to predict Tsubaki's moves. His other scientific ninja tools, I'm okay with that. I'm completely fine with his other scientific ninja tools. That whole glasses thing that he was using to predict her movements, I didn't like that at all. That's terrible. That was absolutely, to me, that was garbage, because, and then you literally had Sora to say, oh, that's just like the Sharingan. This is just terrible. This is I don't want to get to a point in the series where we are diminishing dojutsu and their abilities, where just random civilians in the Hidden Leaf Village or whatever can get Sharingan level abilities. Now, granted, there's no proof that this is actually on the same level as the Sharingan. Sora just said it's similar to the Sharingan, in what it's able to do. But I highly doubt it's able to predict movements at the same level as a Sharingan to the same extent as a Sharingan, and see moves in slow motion and all that stuff like that. I highly doubt it. If anything, this might be like weaker than like a one Tomui Sharingan. It actually might be weaker than one Tomui Sharingan, or should I say, it might have weaker precognition than a one Tomui Sharingan. But the point being, I still have a problem with it. I don't want to get to the point where, first of all, this is already kind of like why would they do this? Like, why would they introduce a scientific ninja tool that does the same thing as a Sharingan? I mean, bro, the Sharingan is supposed to be special. It's literally a Kekkei Genkai, and yet we have scientific ninja tools that are able to have similar abilities to it. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible writing. I don't care what anybody say. It's getting to a point where they're starting to make, I don't want to get to a point where we're starting to render Kekkei Genkai obsolete. When we're starting to diminish the value of Kekkei Genkai. They're supposed to be the utmost special techniques in the entire series. Kekkei Genkai. Bloodline traits. Things that you can only get if you're, in a certain family. Why are we diminishing these things? Like, I don't get it. Like, to me, it's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like I said, there's no proof that this is actually on the same level as a Sharingan, but it does have a similar ability, which is basically predicting someone's movements. To me, that's absolutely terrible. I didn't like it at all. I absolutely hated the fact that they introduced something like that. It's terrible, terrible, terrible stuff to me. But anyways, yeah. So I didn't like that scientific ninja tool that I just talked about, and I didn't like the fact that Tsubaki was nerfed. So overall, those things are gonna, they're gonna drag down my score for the story of this episode. They're gonna drag it down a little bit. Now, also at the end of the episode, Boruto and Mitsuki decided to fight because they missed their opportunity to fight in the tuning exams. And they said, let's fight. Let's see who's stronger or whatever. And obviously, and then based on the preview, we obviously didn't see the fight. So either the fight was super quick or we're just not going to see the fight. I think we're just not going to see the fight, honestly. This is going to be another one of those fights that's off-screen, just like how Sarada versus Mirai was. Unfortunately, this is going to be another off-screen fight. They might mention who won the fight in the next episode. They might say, oh, well, Boruto, Mitsuki might say, that was a good match, Boruto. Congratulations on winning or something like that. If they do have somebody say Mitsuki won that fight, that's going to be BS. It's going to be complete BS, complete nonsense. And I'm going to say that the anime did officially just kill the power scaling. If they say that Boruto lost to Mitsuki, the anime literally just killed the power scaling. Killed it. Literally killed it. Because Mitsuki has no scaling or feats that puts him above Boruto. In fact, even Mitsuki in his Sage Mode form, Sage Mode, when he was using Sage Mode, he was weaker than Deepa. He couldn't actually beat Deepa. And Deepa is actually, I actually made a whole video about this, but obviously Boruto is way stronger than Deepa with this Karma Seal. And yeah, Boruto actually did more visual damage to Deepa with his Rasengan. Like, he actually he actually made a huge dent in Deepa with his Rasengan. And Mitsuki couldn't even scratch Deepa with his Snake Lightning. His Snake Sage Mode or whatever. So even Sage Mode Mitsuki doesn't scale anywhere near current Boruto, even base form Boruto. Boruto should absolutely no diff Mitsuki in his base form. So if they do say something ridiculous in the next episode, like Mitsuki beat Boruto, that's gonna be complete BS, and I'm gonna call an anime out on that. I'm gonna be criticizing that. I'm gonna say the anime killed the power scaling for the Boruto anime. Yeah, and even in the manga, Mitsuki is nowhere near as strong as Boruto. But so yeah, that's the case with that. Also, Naruto asked Kawaki at the end of the episode, "What did you think about the tuning exams?" Kawaki said it was uncomfortable because everyone was so determined not to win not to lose, and everyone was so desperate to win and stuff. So he said it kind of made him uncomfortable. But he said, becoming a ninja doesn't seem so bad after all, or something like that. So he's interested in becoming a Genin now. And based on the summaries that I've seen, he's going to be taking part in a, a mission to try to get promoted to being a Genin. I think he's not going to be promoted to being a Genin. Not because he's not skilled enough, because he's obviously way more skilled than the vast majority. As a matter of fact, he's actually stronger than all of the Genin in Boruto, aside from Boruto and Sarada. Boruto and Sarada are the only Genin that are stronger than Kawaki. And Sarada is kind of debatable. But I think she could beat Kawaki with Genjutsu. And actually, I will argue you could argue she probably scale above Kawaki as well. But anyways, Boruto and Sarada are the only Genin who are anywhere near as strong as Kawaki. All the other Genin would get absolutely one-shot by Kawaki. And I see people are downplaying Kawaki a lot from the Shinki fight. I already explained the whole thing with the Shinki fight in the last episode. I mean, in my last review. Essentially, there's no proof of Kawaki going all out against Shinki, so you can't actually say that he actually went all out and used his full power against Shinki. And people keep on saying, oh, well, he doesn't have the Karma Seal anymore. He doesn't have the Karma Seal anymore. That's irrelevant. Him not having the Karma Seal is irrelevant. He's still 80% Aotsutsuki. Are people forgetting how much powerful that makes, how much more powerful that makes him than everybody else? The guy's 80% Aotsutsuki. In the Boruto verse, the Aotsutsuki are literally called gods. They're literally referred to as gods in the Naruto/Boruto series. So with that being said, Kawaki is technically in the Naruto series. He's, in the fictional series of Naruto/Boruto, he's considered to be 80% god. So why do you think Shinki will be anywhere near as strong as Kawaki? Not to mention Kawaki has extremely, extremely impressive feats from the Delta fight, like being able to react to an attack from Delta. Shinki's nowhere near as strong as Kawaki. Now, the anime tried to make Kawaki look weak, and, they tried to make him look weak, but the good thing is there's no proof of him actually being, him actually going all out against Shinki. Therefore, there's no proof of Shinki being stronger than him. So yeah, that's the case with that. Also, Shinki said that Gaara sent them on a mission to, watch Kawaki. So, yeah, I guess, Gaara sent them on a mission to watch Kawaki. I thought that was kind of, I don't know somebody did say that, they thought that Shinki was sent on a mission to watch Boruto because the whole thing with the, because basically Boruto still has a Karma Seal, Kawaki doesn't. So, I don't know why Gaara was interested in having, interested in getting more information on Kawaki, but it is what it is there. Now, so yes, I'm pretty sure that's everything that happened in the episode. Overall, the main part of this episode was the Tsubaki and Denki fight, and I think the fight was entertaining, but also it definitely did have some story problems. Some negative things when it comes to the story. The stuff I already talked about. The freaking scientific ninja tool Denki was using, which I didn't like, and Tsubaki being massively nerfed. That, along with the fact that, well, actually, yeah, I guess that's pretty much my two biggest problems with the episode. So, anyways, let me give you my ratings for the episode. So, starting off with the story, which is the most important part of the of any episode of any TV show. I'm gonna give the story I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I took off a decent amount just because, mainly because how nerfed Tsubaki was. I don't like characters being nerfed, and plus that scientific ninja tool was garbage. I'm talking about specifically the one with Denki's glasses. The fact that they introduced something like that is ridiculously stupid. I just don't like it at all. Yeah, I just don't like it at all. And then the art, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for the artwork. It was something. Naruto face did look a little bit weird in one scene, but yeah, besides that, the artwork was pretty good throughout the episode. And then lastly, the animation, I'm gonna give it 9.5. Didn't notice any problems at all with the animation. So with that being said, overall, I'll give the episode a 8 out of 10. It was another pretty good episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And yeah, I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Team 7 going on a mission, on their quote-unquote last mission. Technically, Team 7 is still going to be together, except Sword is going to be the leader now instead of Konohamaru. So that's why they're calling this the last mission of Team 7. But yes, Sarda. Oh yeah, my girl Sarda got promoted to being a tuning, as she should have been. She should have been a tuning all the way back. That episode where they promoted Shikadai to being a tuning, that's one of the worst things that ever happened in the Boruto anime. Literally, that's one of the dumbest things that Naruto's ever done as Hokage. Literally, I'm being serious. Naruto looked completely stupid in that episode. I might do a whole video about that within and of itself, because that episode made Naruto look really stupid, because he literally ignored. Actually, I can make a whole video about that. But anyway, Sarda should have been promoted as being a tuning way before Shukadai. She should have been picked over Shukadai in that episode. But anyways, good thing is Sarda is a tuning now. And yeah, so that's cool. And with that being said, that's all I got to say about this week's episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And drop a comment. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. And share the video all over the internet. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Every promise I've been praying for.